So what I'm going to do is I'm going to branch off to another state, and we'll call this one standing to crouching trans, and then we'll bring that back into here, and then we'll come back the other way, add a state, and we'll call that crouching to standing trans. Connect it that way. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to disconnect these so they'll never be true, but I'm going to leave them in for now, and we'll get to why in a bit. And I'll show you. So right now we want crouch movement flag. We'll go into the transition, which we will play stand to crouch rifle iron sights. That was stand to crouch, right? Yes. So the other one's going to be the opposite. We're going to have play crouch to stand rifle iron sights. So here's the problem right now. Let's hook this back up first. So right now, oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. So another thing is we don't want this to loop. If you select on the animation node, you'll have a bunch of options here, such as the play rate and the start position, what animation you're playing. You also have looped animation. We want to disconnect the loop animation. We don't want it to loop. We want it to play once. These animations are looping. We want them to loop. But the transition we don't want to loop. So as of right now we have an issue. If we click on the crouching flag and move from standing to this transition, this one is always going to be false and it's never going to come through. We have to have something to turn this gate on, to open this gate. Fortunately, Unreal gives us an option for that. We have the time remaining, there we go, get relevant anim time remaining and get relevant anim time remaining fraction. Now notice that it is querying the state, not the animation, which is really handy because you might have multiple animations in the previous state. So I'm going to get time remaining, not time remaining fraction, because time remaining fraction kind of bit me in the butt a while back. Now these things change from build to build. Maybe it's working better now. I don't know. But I'm going to stick to time remaining because that works better for me. So when the time remaining is less than 0.05 seconds, we can go into the transition. And time remaining fraction, this would not be 0.05 seconds, it would be 0.05 or 5%. So either way, I just find that node more reliable than the other, but whichever one works best for you. And again, we'll do the same thing here. Now we're getting a couple of warnings because these other transitions are disconnected, so they'll never be used, and it's complaining about it. But that's fine for now. So just to test this, let's go ahead and hit the crouching flag. And you can actually see the nodes going into the different states. It's going into that transition, and it's coming back out of that transition. Now, as you can see, that transition is much cleaner than just simply blending between the two animations. It looks a little bit better. However, if we set the movement speed so he's moving, the transition, he stops. Now that could be a little jarring. That may not be what we want. So what we can do is we can say, well, if he's moving, we'll just blend. If he's not moving, then we'll use the fancy, pretty transition animations. So this needs to be more than just a simple Boolean. We need to actually do some thinking here. So let's get movement speed. And let's get this less than, let's say 25. So what we want is for us to enter this transition if the flag is on and the movement speed is less than 25. And fortunately, there is an AND function. Now we can add pins to this, so if we had other conditions that also have to be met, we could query those as well. But we just have the two for now, so we'll just leave it at that. And so coming this way, we want the opposite. We want the movement speed to be greater than or equal 25. The other one was less than. Let's go back. See, less than. So this one's going to be greater than or equal because there might actually be a condition when that movement speed is exactly 25, in which case it is undefined. So we'll do it this way so we're covered. We'll AND these two conditions. Doesn't matter what order. And is basically the same thing mathematically as a multiply. In multiply, it doesn't matter what order it is. And then coming out, we want to do the same thing. We want that movement speed less than 25. We'll AND them together. And then same here. Greater than or equal to 25. And those together. So now, if we back out, we can watch the transitions happen. We're not moving. So we go through the transitions, and it looks a little prettier. But if we are going faster than 25, we skip them and just blend. And then, of course, we can control the amount of blend right there. Let's try that again. See, that even looks a little nicer. That's not, it's quick, but it's not too quick. It's a little less mechanical. But if they're going at about 24, that doesn't look too bad. We can go one step further and promote this to a variable. And we'll use the same variable in all four cases, and we'll call this tolerance, movement tolerance AB. So we'll plug that into there. And we'll do that in all of those transitions. Get them all. There's that one. Oh, this one. So what does this buy us? Well, what this does is it allows us to change it in one place instead of having to go through all four places, make sure they're all the same and everything like that. I can just set it once. Real quick, notice that I'm setting it here. This is the preview window. It's not actually changing the default. This is just kind of for testing. If I wanted that change, I could hit the apply button here, or I can just